Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is our Thursday night coffee chat, running for a solid couple months now. I'm very excited. I love these calls, and I'm so excited to be back with you, Catherine, this week. I missed you.
I know. Actually, I just counted on my fingers because I want to make sure I got it right, because we started this call in May, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that means we're like in our 8th month of doing this together every week.
Meet you soon. I'm so excited.
I know. Woo-hoo!
All right, guys. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Caity Metz. I am from Newton, New Jersey. I've been with It Works for 2.5 years, and I'm loving every second of it. We like to start our calls a little bit of our story, the short version. I joined It Works at a time in my life when I was working full-time in retail. I was the store manager of a clothing store, and I was also going to school full-time for my bachelor's in psychology, so I totally had my hands full. Was approached about this crazy rap thing from a family member. She had been very concerned with some health issues I was having, and she knew that I was trying to go to the gym and get a little healthier with my eating habits. I was really kind of at a plateau at that time, and weight loss was just not happening. For whatever reason, it just wasn't working for me. So I was interested in some of our sideline products, but I went to a wrap party, and I wasn't expecting to get wrapped, but I did get wrapped. I didn't get great results in 45 minutes. However, the next morning I was so excited to see how my stomach had transformed overnight, and I was like, where did it go? What happened? So I was hooked, and I knew that if that worked for me, that the other products would as well. So fast forward 2.5 years later, I am now full-time at Works. I no longer have that full-time job. I left it 2 years ago now, and I am done with school. And what's really exciting is my health is better than it's ever been and medication-free, and I'm getting married next year. So definitely a busy time still for us, but it's very exciting, and I'm loving the flexibility of having this business to work around all of that craziness. So my co-host is one of my favorite people. So, Catherine, why don't you go ahead and say hi?
Oh, my goodness. Caity Metz is like the spitfire of It Works. Like, every time I seriously, like, smile the whole time you tell your story every week for 8 months because you share it with so much passion, and I think I love also that our stories are so similar and that we were not really brought to this business because of the crazy rap, even though we both love it and it was not what brought us, or I guess our attention. And to be very similar to Caity, I had been just on Facebook and saw a good friend from high school posting pictures and information about our greens and our fat fighter, and those were the two products that really grabbed my attention because of some health issues I was having and really struggling with energy and digestion and just feeling horrible. And so those really stuck out to me, and I needed to know more about them. At the time, I was with another direct sales company, and way different than It Works. I had no idea there was a difference between direct sales and network marketing. And I honestly was getting a little bit over it because I wasn't seeing the results that I felt like I should be seeing for the time that I was putting in by spending a few nights every single week away from my family. It actually was turning into like a second shift job, and I knew that was not what we needed. So lo and behold, I called my friend from high school and just said, hey, I'm seeing you're very successful at the business that you are in, and I really am interested in some of those products, but maybe you could give me some tips on how I could use my time more wisely or be more successful at the business I'm doing, not knowing that it was so different. What I was doing was so different than what It Works had to offer. So after sitting down over lunch with my husband, we just knew that these products were what I needed for my health. We knew they'd be good for our whole family. And we also looked over that compensation plan, and we were like, we need to do this. So the next day, we actually closed the doors on one business and opened up It Works. I knew so many people would want to get wraps on them. We started selling things in our home on eBay to pocket money so we could buy what we had as a big booster kit that cost $499 at the time, and I knew I wanted that kit. And so we sold stuff in our house in order to get started strong right at the beginning. And here we are. We're almost 2.5 years into this also, and just very focused on helping our team grow and be successful and really enjoying the relationships that we're building.
Oh, you make me smile, too. I'm sitting here like, I love that because I know so many people, listening on this call, too, Catherine, there might be concerned about starting a business with the holidays and some extra finances going out right now. So I love your story and how you really just made a way. And I know, too, just from hearing your story often, that you sold your wraps like right away. So people really wanted it. And I know that right now people are looking to start their New Year's resolution like right away. So people are thinking about their health already. So I love that.
Yes. Yeah. And
want to go ahead and bring on our guest?
I do. I'm super excited to have Myra on as our guest tonight. I have never talked with Myra before we just connected here on this call, but I have seen her post, and Myra, probably the thing that has drawn me, and just I felt like God said, hey, ask her to share on your call tonight. And I think it's because the way you encourage and just the things that you put out there, you're like the team cheerleader. And just like Caity and I are sidelines. We're not directly on the same team. Us doing this call together does not benefit one another. But it's the same with Myra coming on. She's not direct to Caity or I either. But us working together makes us all strong. And I just really believed that there had to be something in Myra's story that other people were going to want and need to hear. And so thank you for taking the time to join us tonight.
Well, thank you, ladies, for having me. As they said, I got a Facebook message and said, would you join my call? And our call, and I was like, well, who is this? They want me to join a call. And then the funny thing was we're in a group. I saw a post from Caity about being too short to reach the spice racket, but I didn't know anything. I saw that post the other day, and I had seen Catherine post throughout the years. I see her on Facebook often, and as they said, I am a sideliner of a sideline of a sideline. I've been in the business since June of 2011, so just about 3.5 years. My prior experience with direct marketing or sales marketing was when I was at the ripe age of 20. I have always been in love with crystal, and I sold Princess House. And I guess my why, what we call a why now, my why back then I knew, because I wanted every piece of free crystal that I could get my hands on. And being 20 and in college and going up and down the freeway, going to class, doing parties, because with Princess House you set up all the crystal, make it look pretty, might make a dish, to show off the versatility of the crystal. But once I got everything in that kit, I closed the lock on it, and I was done. And I went into my career, and I didn't think of anything else until 2011 early. My girlfriend, my direct upline, we were teachers at the same school, and she came and I said, I need to see you, run up on recess. And she said, I want you to join this business with me. And I looked at her and I was like, no. And then she, if anybody that knows me, my no means no. I'm no. And so I was like, what else do you want? She goes, well, if you're not going to do it, I need your people. I need access to your people, because I do have an
awesome.
An extensive.
Did everybody just take notes on that?
Yeah. Find somebody with people that are willing and can offer up a group of people, because at the time the group that she meant is a nationally recognized group, civic group. And so I was like, well, yeah, I think I can do that. Let's start with my direct ones, and then we'll see about branching out. So I hosted at one of our monthly meetings, we hosted a like a little get together, and then I reached out to a couple of other teachers at school. One had Pampered Chef, the other one did something else. And so with those three ladies, we had like a little open house, and they did pretty well. And so then she's like, I really need you to be on my team. I'm like, I don't want to do this, but we've known each other for over 20 years. Our families are intertwined. And she's like, I really need you to do this, and I'm seeing, what they're doing. And she's like, you got to do this. So one night they said, we're going to a rap party. And I'm like, what is this? And it's on a Wednesday night. We've taught all day, in my case, fifth graders, and that's not easy. So we go out to this rap party about 50 miles from our house. It takes us 3 hours because it's rush hour traffic. It's about 26 people, and it's the first time they're introducing the rap to the West Coast. I'm in California. And 6 brave people went back and got rapped, and the rest of us are just sitting, making small chat, around the room, real quiet. And all of a sudden we hear this banshee, like scream, and then we are jumping because we're in a strange home. I don't know what's going on. And the smallest person that rapped that night lost 6 inches. Wow. And she had to be 5'2", and maybe 110 pounds. And then the next person, and the next person, and the next person, and the next person, the results were phenomenal, except for the 6th person whose home it was. And she had no results. But the next day, when she contacted the person that led the party, she did see results. And then over the next 3 days, as we said, it's the results. And again, I was impressed, but I still was no, because I'm working, selling real estate also. That's my passion. And one day they needed some forms run off, and I said, well, I'm at my office after church. Come by the office, and I'll run anything off that you want, because we have free reign. It's a Sunday. Nobody's there. And when my girlfriend walked in the door, we set up the machines. The machines are printing off the flyers and all the stuff that they needed. And she says, I'm going to sign you up right now here. And she sat down, and she signed me up, and that's how I got in here. And it's just been it's been a challenge for me because it has not been the bed of roses. You see all the success, and then you see all the stuff, and you're like, why? But in my case, I never ask myself why, because that's not my personality. I'm real calm. So I'm like, okay. But as you see all the other success, year 1, okay, we're learning. Year 2, but then when you get to year 3, and then your success is not like all the other success, what keeps you going? What keeps you motivated? And what keeps you moving? And if it's not the people above you, then always reach out to the side where you just it's like opening up your arms, because you're going to touch somebody. And in my case, some other people saw me late at night. One of them was Kyler, and the other one was Cece. And they reached out to me, and I was thinking, man, here I am up at midnight. But where you guys are, it's 3 a.m., so why are you up? But we developed a friendship, and they would never let me give up. And even though Kyler, I would see Kyler at the conferences, and he would say, I'm going to pray with you. Or he would see me online, I'm going to pray with you. And with Cece, she would what are you doing, girl? You got this. You got this. Always pulling me along. And even when things in my own team, they were, not right, but there's nothing that you can do about something. I had to find it within myself. So my thing tonight is, if you're on the line and you're thinking about, you see all the other stuff and you're shaking, and then you're on the line and you're like, I don't have money for this, and I can't do this. Well, you heard me say earlier, we ran off stuff. So there's always ways, or like Cammie said the other day, if you only have one card left, you say, hey, I only have this one card, but this is what it is, this is what it does. Flash it, 1, 2, and then you get their information. Or like when I run out of business cards, or me, even though I do sell real estate, I don't say I sell real estate /wraps, /85 things I do. If I don't have a real estate card with me that day, I don't have a card, but, let me get your information. And always look, just put your blinders on. I know it's hard, but you put your blinders on because you never know who's looking. Like Catherine said, I never knew that Catherine's looking at my Facebook feed. I have no idea, but you never know who's looking at you. And so my advice, before we get into the meeting and, everything, the call, is just to keep focused. Keep focused on the goals. Keep focused on what you set. And the things that you've seen, you're only as good as the 5 people around you. If the 5 people around you are not doing well, then you have to move that aside. I'm not mad at my direct team, but I got to move that out the side because I want to function. I can't get into the wheres and withals of what they're doing because I want to function. So I throw out my hands, and I'm going to touch somebody, or somebody's going to grab hold of me, and then I'm going to keep moving. So that's what I would say, and that's been my story with It Works. I wouldn't change it for anything because this product works, people. This hands down by this product, and that's the other thing, because the product worked. Because if I didn't believe in the product, if this was Avon, not that I don't believe in Avon, but if this was something else, Princess House, I got enough crystal. If this was something else, I would have gone a long time ago. But the results from this work, my favorite is not the wrap. I've only wrapped 3 times in 3.5 years, but my testimony is for relief and new you. Like, I have some health issues too, and I should have listened to Dr. Don 3 years ago when he was trying to tell me if I introduced those 2 things into my regimen, I could release some of these pharmaceuticals that I was using. And the new you and the relief by far have been so beneficial to me. It's transformed my body to where I don't need certain things. I can walk without a cane now, and that wasn't possible for the 2 years that cane went with me everywhere. Even at conference this year, I had the cane. I was on the dance floor with the cane. I was on 4 plane changes with the cane. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. No, but thank you, ladies.
No, that's great. And as you were talking, Myra, what I kept thinking about is, and this is something Caity and I try to bring every single week to this call, is that this company and this business is so much bigger than just making money. And that's where the life change comes in. I know for a lot of people, I know for our family, when the money comes in, it is so helpful, and it does bring some relief. But money doesn't necessarily bring the life change. It's the people, and it's the things that you get to do because of the blessing of it. And this is one of the blessings that we have as It Works Distributors, is these sideline relationships and these friendships that are developed. Like you're talking about with Cece and Kyler, just the way they reached out to you. And Caity and I have never even met. We talk on the phone every single week through this call, but we've never met. The relationships are so strong and so good. And I don't think there's another company like that out there. There can't be, because I think we all would have heard of it. I think that we would see it if there was other companies like this with these types of relationships, and there's just not. And I think that that's really what we need to focus on with this call tonight, is the bigger picture of just how people's lives are being changed through relationships, through their relationship with God, and their them coming to an understanding of how God is working in their life every single day. I'm so glad that God directed me to have you share with us tonight.
Thank you. I'm glad too.
I have to agree. Like, as you were talking just now, honestly, like, there were so many truths and so many, like, little golden nuggets just, like, wrapped up in a perfect little bow as you were talking. You know, you also touched upon just the culture of It Works. And you too, Catherine. Like, I know that that's something we talk about every single week after week, is just how willing people are to really help you and genuinely help you. And it doesn't matter where you are, because we all have the same vision and we want this company to move forward. So, you know, even our guests listening on the line tonight, you're not alone. It doesn't matter where, even in the country, you are, because, you know, Catherine's out in Michigan. We have Myra out in California. I'm here in New Jersey, and yet we're all here on the same call helping one another. And I think that that's just so powerful. I'm so excited.
Yes, wow.
And I just think that that's what we can share with people who have joined this call tonight, and they're maybe looking at It Works and wondering, well, how is this really going to impact my life? And what I can say is this is going to impact you way beyond a paycheck. It's going to impact areas of your life you didn't even know. It's like when you exercise and you exercise muscles you didn't know you had. You know, like that kind of feeling. I feel like that's what It Works has done for me. It has made me stretch muscles in my life that I didn't know needed to be stretched. And that's where this has become life-changing. And I think it's probably true for you too, Caity.
Oh, my gosh, yes. I mean, if I would have thought, you know, even just looking back too, you know, sometimes at the end of the year you like to look back at how far you've come. And it might not even be the rank that you're at. And I love that part of Myra's story as well, because it doesn't matter where your paycheck is at. Look at how far you've come. And I know this year my team and I have been talking about how this is the year of deep, deep roots. And I know for us, you know, we have grown as people so strong that I know, you know, there's no way that I could have ever asked for that. But the things that have changed and the person that you become just by being around these kind of awesome people, really, it just, you can't help it. You just change and grow and stretch. And, you know, it's kind of like, I don't even know, it's like a support group almost, because people just lift you up and encourage you. And really, you know, our job as, you know, leaders in this company is bringing out people's strengths and just letting them shine of the people that they are and they were created to be, because I just know that, you know, every single person has the capacity to be great, and it's just a matter of finding what you're great at and just really working from those strengths. So anybody can do it, anybody.
And that's so true, because as you know, being in the company, when you make the decision to join any network marketing company, you should do, you know, your research. And coming into this, you know, being a successful teacher with 23 years of experience behind me and putting out fourth and fifth graders and sixth graders in the early years when California still had sixth graders at the elementary school level, when those children would bring back their children, or when those children that had graduated would come back and say, Miss Green, I need crayons, or Miss Green, I need pencils, or, you know, and they're in middle school and high school at that point, that by that point it wasn't about test scores. It was about the children coming back. And I didn't teach at a school that was a high-performing school. It's not in a great area, but I went there every day with expectation because I'm Aquarius, and because I am Aquarius, I expect more out of you, and I'm not a morning person, so I didn't even talk before 10 a.m., and that's hard when you're directing kids. But if you can direct kids with a facial expression and an eye, then you know that you have it. And the same with real estate. When I made that jump into real estate in 2002, I was fortunate enough to jump in one of the richest portions in California, in Beverly Hills. And when you have that kind of success behind you again, and that's by selling $2 million, $3 million homes, then you kind of feel something. But when you jump into something like this, and you have to be your strength, and there are other strengths there, because there are many times that I wanted to throw in the towel. And it's not about, and really, to be truthful, just last month in November. But it happens to be two great guys on my team, and they looked at me like I had lost my mind. And they were like, no, we have some issues going on. I was sharing with Catherine. It's 3 people on my team whose moms are parents have Alzheimer's, different stages of Alzheimer's, my mom being one also. And but my mom's been going at it longer, so I'm more used to it as the other 2 gentlemen are not. And, everything affects them a little bit different. But when they said no, and it's harder because they work, and so we made a step of faith. We made a leap of faith, and we changed direction, because sometimes when you might feel things are not going, it might be the surroundings. So we came out of our comfort zone, and even though Beverly Hills is not my uncomfortable zone because I'm used to it as real estate, but now I'm going in here with the product. And I was fortunate enough in November to do Bel Air in Beverly Hills Place that opened up a whole different type of client or person, And then we had to do it a different way. I couldn't walk in there with the T-shirt and the flip-flops and do my thing. It had to be, because it was some guidelines even for going at the events that I was at. But I stepped out on faith, and I went, and I worked. We bought we did 6 vendor shows, high end, and the guys paid. So, Mark, if you work them, we'll pay for them, but you can't quit. And I was like, okay, whatever, fine. So they paid. I paid for 1. They paid for the other 5. And I worked them. We had great results. And then that showed me, okay, if it's not working where I am and I keep sitting here, what thing can I do to make it different? That means, so if you got to move. So you're might have to go a little bit farther. For some people, like I see, I don't have people on my team, or there's nobody here. Well, get in the car and go. Just make a drive, but change the environment, get on the bus and go. Because I didn't have a car for the 2 years from 2012 to this June. That I did not have a car, and I got on the bus. When I went to vendor shows, you should have seen me. I looked like the bag lady. I had a rolling suitcase, and I was the duffel bag on top of that, and I looked like I was going either to a hotel or somewhere, but I would go like that. And I never made excuses for myself. I might have felt sorry for myself, but I never made the excuse that I couldn't do it when I saw other people doing it, and when I see other people encouraging me. And you wouldn't believe where I am now, to even have people message me, can you help me with this, or what do you think about that? And I'm thinking, what do you mean? Because it doesn't matter about rank. The other day I saw something on Facebook, and Cammie was on a bus, even though they're at the Magic Kingdom. She was on a bus. And it just took me by surprise, because did she have to take the bus? No. So if we think about it in the absolute, could she not have hired a car to take her and her family from kingdom to kingdom or place to place? No, they got on the bus just like regular people. And we all have to remember, we are regular people with a fantastic support system. And even with all the new people coming on, there's always a leader out there that's willing to share. I've never found one person in this company, And I found many teachers along my years. I've seen many real estate agents who didn't want to share listings, but I have never in 3.5 years seen one person in It Works Global from the top to the bottom, including Mark Pentecost himself, that was not willing to help or reach out or talk to you. Just like Pam says, everybody's just regular people, and everybody is here to help.
Yes, and I love that you're doing such a good job of continuing to plant seeds, and how you talked about just now finding a new area, because you've obviously planted seeds over and over again in one area, and the harvest hasn't come yet there. It doesn't mean it's not going to, because I believe it will. I believe when we've put work in someplace that God blesses it in His time, not always in our time, but He's putting you now in a position of planting seeds in other places, and it's all going to come to harvest eventually, and I'm really excited to keep up with you and find out what happens.
Thank you.
So, Caity, it's 9:30 already. I can't believe it. Do you think we should let people know how they could get involved with us?
Absolutely. All right. So if you're on the call tonight and you're thinking, maybe there's something tugging on your heart, you're like, all right, well, how do I get started? We like to end our calls usually just going over really quickly our 3-step system of getting started. And the first step is simply joining. It's $99, the promotional price to get started. It's 4 wraps that you get in your kit that you can sell for $25 or $30. And you got 4 wraps in the kit, so that makes your money back right off the bat, which I love that. So it's really a no-risk investment. There are some booster options that you can choose to tack on to that. I know Catherine touched upon how she got more wraps. It just depends on how many people you think you might be wrapping in your first 30 days. And again, if finances are an issue, I pre-sold wraps before my kit even came in. I was getting people giving me money right off the bat. So all you have to do is really just share what you have your hands on, and that kind of takes care of itself. So that's the first step. The second step is by gathering a couple of customers, and It Works is so smart because they offer our distributor pricing without having to be a distributor to all of our loyal customers. So if you get 4 loyal customers in your first 30 days, the company will give you $120 in free product, and that is so exciting because you can either use that to get wraps, and then you'll make $200 in cash, which is, who wouldn't want that for Christmas right now? Or you can use that to, build up a testimony on yourself and try some of the other products that we had talked about tonight, and really get a testimony and be a walking billboard. And the third step is if you get a couple of people that you think might want to do this business with you, and you help them do step 1, join the party, and step 2, get a couple of customers, you're going to make a minimum income of $500 in your first 60 days. And if you don't make that, It Works will make up the difference for you in your first 60 days. So I think that is just so, nobody does that anywhere. I've never heard of an income guarantee. I've never gone to a job in my life that said, if you do your job and you do it the way that you're supposed to, I'm going to guarantee that you make a certain amount of money. And, I think right now with the holidays and people thinking of maybe what Christmas looked like last year, why put Christmas on a credit card that you're not going to pay off until next year? Why not start off the year debt-free and just pay off everything in cash? So it's really, really exciting. And we also have some great bonuses, so you can get back with the person who invited you to the call and talk all about all of our great promotions going on. And I know right now, Catherine, too, right now is a great time to get involved because you're going to be set up for some of the biggest announcements of the year at conference.
Woohoo!
Yes, and just everybody's thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to overeat for the next 2 weeks of my life, and I'm going to have to really get serious about getting back healthy. And this is just the perfect time. Like, I get really, really excited about January and what can happen for people if they decide to come on board and really put some effort into their business.
Absolutely. And I know, too, one of the other things that I'm noticing is that I see so many people in December. Like, we just got home from a Christmas concert. I have things going on at church. I have things going on with my family and parties. And and my fiance's work parties, and you just see people all the time. So if you naturally the conversation is going to go to, what are you up to? How's everything been? And you can tell them, you just started a home-based business and kind of plant the seed right there. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. Great tips.
All right. So, Myra, I guess really quickly, before we let everyone go, if you have somebody that is brand new, hasn't joined the business, they're looking at us for the first time, what is one tip that you would give that person who's looking at us for the first time?
Don't hesitate. Come on. We love you. We want you. You will never be alone. No matter how much you try to be, you will never be alone. So we're here for you. You can't beat, if you're looking for an opportunity that will change your life, and believe me, this opportunity has changed mine, and I thought mine was pretty complete. I'm almost 55, so I thought mine was pretty complete. But if you're looking for something that will change your life and give you the opportunity to set you up for the rest of your life, then you need to look no farther, because this is the place. From the compensation plan to the people, it's a 3-step journey like they just mentioned. It's very, very easy. It is not complicated. It is not rocket science. Anybody can do it, a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, a person that works all day or all night. You can do it, because we are here to help you. And take that step. Take their advice. Get back with the person that you were invited by and sign up.
I love it. I think that's perfect.
Exactly. Thank you, ladies, so much for your time. It was so great talking to you guys. We'll be back here at the same time, same number next week. So if you have a story to share, somebody that has a really awesome story, please reach out to me or Catherine. We'd love to hear from them. And I hope everyone has an awesome night and an awesome weekend. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.